I'm Say. I work at Crestwood and I am an artist. You can see my work in progress mural on my right hand shoulder here. I draw anything and everything, blah, blah, blah. Today, we're going to be doing something really fun and relaxing and exciting. We're going to be drawing a four-leaf clover, but I'm going to teach you guys how to do a fun like doodling technique called zentangling. And I'll get more into that in like once we get there, but it'll be really nice and fun. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoy it. So I guess I'm gonna change my view. So this is a sample that I made. And this is what I mean by zentangle. So you can obviously see like the outline of the four-leaf clover, like each leaf. But within each leaf, I have all these different patterns and colors and things. And so the point of zentangling is that you sort of methodically go like part by part, drawing whatever pattern comes to your mind. And it's supposed to relax you and make you zen, right? And they sort of tangle up with each other and interact with each other in interesting ways. And you can leave it in black and white or color them in. It's up to you. I like to color mine in because I'm a colorful person, but that's your personal choice. I'm going to put that to the side over there somewhere. I recommend if you're using these acrylic paint markers for the first time, I recommend having a piece of scrap paper like this to sort of get the paint flowing. That's just another thing that I highly recommend. So anyway, we have our paper. I'm using Canson's watercolor paper, 9 by 12 inch. I like watercolor paper. I like this watercolor paper because its surface is actually really smooth, which isn't the super norm for watercolor paper. It's sort of a thinner, it's like more like cardstock. And I found that to be really, really good with these paint markers in particular. I think the paper and the paint markers take really well to each other versus like I've tried to use these on like a fabric canvas before and it wasn't as successful. So like cardstock, Bristol, any like thicker, smooth paper like that should work really well with this. And also I have some Sharpies. I have 2 different thicknesses, like the regular Sharpie thickness and then like the pen size for all those little details that we're going to get into, right? So you can do this step in pencil if you feel a little intimidated. I like to be bold and daring and just go in with, you know, with the Sharpie. So I'm going to just like place a dot in the center of my page, and that's what I'm going to use to draw my leaves. And they're just sort of these like heart shapes. So I've got that leaf. And it's fine if they overlap because leaves overlap in real life. So there we go. Just like a very simple, I did that in like 5 seconds flat, right? In my regular fine point, whatever, regular Sharpie. And then I think I want to draw a stem. And these leaves have the biggest gap, so I'm going to do it from these leaves. And I just did 2 curving lines. Again, they overlapped. I don't care. It's not a big deal. We will use that to our benefit later. And then I did like, added some extra thickness. I did 1 curved line here and then another one like that to make it look like the stem was cut off. So that's step one. We're already done. Like I said, you can do this in pencil and then go ahead and trace it in Sharpie if you feel like you want it to be quote unquote perfect. I don't believe in perfection in art. I think it's a waste of time. I think you should just go for it. But also, I'm not going to tell you what to do. This is also like, if you have trouble holding the pen still, going first in pencil and then tracing it might help you as well. But don't worry about, like, none of my leaves look the same, and that's okay. That's fine. So let's start. I'm grabbing the wrong. I'm going to take this ultra fine point Sharpie. You can use a felt tip black pen or whatever color pen you want, really. And I'm going to take one of these like overlaps and just start drawing lines. Oh. So I'm drawing curved lines in this. Just like that. And it's sort of like a radial effect right there. I don't know. Maybe it looks like a carrot or something. I just draw what I feel pretty much. So that's already one pattern done. You can get more detailed and like do patterns within each subdivision, but in the interest of time, I'm not going to do that. I do want to break up these leaves into smaller portions, so I'm going to take my bigger Sharpie, again, my regular size Sharpie, and I'm just going to draw a random line like that. I don't know, why not? I'm looking at a picture of a clover for reference, and I noticed that the leaves have this like mark, this like white sort of mark on them. So maybe I'll do something like that. And then just like, so the thing about Zentangles for me that makes it really successful is when you follow either no rules or one particular rule. So the rule that I did with this illustration in particular is that there are no straight lines. I do not draw a single straight line in this image, mostly because this is a natural object. It's a leaf that grows in nature, and there aren't really straight lines in nature except for like the horizon or something. So to me, it just made the most sense to not have straight lines, you know? So yeah, I kind of have all these different subdivisions, and notice how already it's like completely different from my original piece. That's also perfectly fine. That's the fun in it, is that everyone is going to end up with their own rendition, pretty much. I think I want to offset the outline of each leaf at the top here. And then we can sort of get into like the little details again. There we go. Awesome. I am going to edge correct my stem. I'm just going to make the thicker parts like integrate better with the rest of it. And like any points that I find that don't like merge into each other, any lines that I find that don't merge into each other in quite the way I want them to, I'm just going to like edit that a little bit, you know. Right. And this was the first line I drew, and I kind of got stuck on the paper with the Sharpie, so right, whatever. So I don't know. I like this line. I think it's really cool. So I'm going to duplicate it with my thin Sharpie. And then I think I'm going to mismatch that on this side just because. So I'm duplicating this line, but instead of on this side, I'm doing it on this side. So you can see like how methodical it gets. It's pretty cool. In this little overlap here, I'm gonna do little hills. I don't know what these are called, scales, hills. Sort of just, they kind of look like teeth now, do they? It's these sort of like loop-de-loops that are like, I really don't know what to call them. And you just go in space by space, subdivision by subdivision, filling it in with whatever it is you want to do. And that's it. Like really, it's about how creative you can get with whatever shapes you come up with. You can be more abstract like this, or I will show you how to do something less abstract. So we're doing a four-leaf clover for St. Patrick's Day. That to me means luck, right? The luck of the Irish sort of thing. So I'm like, what if we did a rainbow in one of the sections? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right? So I'm going to take, because as you noticed, I pretty much only used greens in my original image. And I didn't want it to come across like that's the only color you can use. So I'm going to start off with pink. We like pink. I want the colors to be soft. The colors besides green to be soft. So this is standing in for my red because red and green are opposite colors. So I think the contrast would be a little too harsh in my opinion. So I'm using pink instead, but you can use red if you prefer. I'm going in with my orange. Woo! And you can see like how easily the paint marker fills up the space. That's another reason why I wanted to use these paint markers, because they are fine tipped, but they spread their color very, very quickly, which is like pretty good for the purposes of this exercise, or this art project rather. Yeah, so I just use my scrap paper to like get the paint running, so I don't have to do it on my actual piece. I don't mess anything up. I think I'm gonna add another line to do 6 instead of 5. But we'll see. Maybe I'll leave it at just 5, I don't know. Which one do I use? I don't know. Let's use this one. You can hear like all the paint in there. This green is really nice. It's pretty dark though. So maybe I should use the other one. I don't know. Oh well. And this is a really good activity to do with like some music playing or like while you're watching one of your favorite like junk TV shows or something. I don't watch TV, I don't know. I like to do this while I listen to music personally. I don't think I could ever draw like, I mean, I'm drawing right now without music, but like it's very difficult. It helps me focus better when I have music on. So I don't know, what do you think? Should we add purple to this, like a purple stripe at the bottom? Should we leave it like that? I have this lavender here ready to go. I'll add it. Why not? What the heck? And then this, I'm gonna do a bunch of little swirls because this is like the cloud. And when I think of clouds, I think of swirls. Just sort of randomly placed, you know? I don't think I've used this one, so I think I have to like, yeah, no, this one's completely unused, so I have to like wait for it to come out. Dun, dun, dun. Come on, come on. There we go. And yeah, we got our lavender up in here. And I think I'm going to use this for the background. This like it doesn't have the name of the color on here, but it's like a mint green. It's very lovely. It's a very lovely color. So yeah, I'm gonna just use that to fill in these to make it like the sky. And so that's like one quadrant or septile. I don't know. That's one section colored in and drawn. So I guess we can keep going. I mean, like, I don't know. I'm just, and you don't even have to do like what I'm doing in particular. If you feel so inclined and inspired to do a particular pattern in one of these spaces, by all means, do it. I 100% support that. I like to go in with lines and line up like along different edges. I just find that to be like super fun. So I'm aligning myself with this curve right here when I draw these lines. And it just looks really nice. And I like doing this with Sharpie because it's sort of a now or never moment for me. It really makes you decide on the spot what to draw instead of pencils with the ability to erase gives you a lot of time to ponder about what it is you're drawing. And I just think that that's like unnecessary time spent when you can just draw, you know? But of course, if you have shaky hands or something, like I totally understand. I think for in terms of like line stability, um, I'm resting my wrist on the paper and my elbows on the table. So I'm not sort of like free falling. Um, and I'm just being really confident. I'm pressing down with my pen relatively hard to make sure that it's like on the paper, you know? And so it almost becomes like the pen goes wherever it wants to go, more so than where I want it to go sometimes. And I think that's kind of cool. So we filled up this leaf with the patterns, I guess. I think I want to do like bubbles in this piece right here. So I'm just going to draw circles like touching each other at various different sizes. Just because I feel like it. That's really it. That's all, like whatever it is you want to do. If you want to do like little smiley faces. Ooh, I just got an idea for a good one that I could do that I'm going to show you guys. It's one of my go-tos. um, I've done a lot of art in this style. It's sort of my like signature thing. I've been doing it for many, many years now. I have multiple pieces in this style of different vibes and feelings. I can show you guys some examples if you want to see like how vast the art you can create with this sort of technique can really be. Like I can just very quickly grab a few examples. And I'm just filling in my space and touching all the circles together. It's very relaxing. I'm very focused on what I'm doing. And that's that. So one thing that I love to do is draw slime. Ooh. Just like that. I've drawn it so much. I don't even know how to okay, let me try to explain this verbally. I like to call it slime, but you could think of it as like dripping paint or something. I don't know. But basically, I start here at the top, I go out and I go back in. And I go out longer, I go back in. Not every drip is the same. Also remember that. And also think about like the negative space too. Right? Like these two drips here are a little flatter than like these ones that are more bulbous. And if you feel like if you want to try this one, I totally okay you doing it with pencil first if you're not super comfortable with it. This is a pattern that I'm super used to drawing, so I made it look super easy. But you know, if it's your first time trying it, by all means. And I like to do it in layers because I think it's cool. So I have like 2 layers, or like 1, 2, 3 layers of slime. And we can get really, really like gross with this, right? With the colors. So um let's use these 3 and see, you know, where it takes us. I think I'm gonna go in with Mr. Yellow here first. Yeah, I love drawing slime. I don't know. It's one of my other motifs in my personal art of just like this dripping ooze. I don't even really particularly know what exactly it would be. And I've never made my own slime in real life. I was a little too old when that fad came around. um of like making your own putty slime with I don't even know what you use, like kitchen soap or something. I don't know. I never made it. I don't know. Something that's also cool to do in the negative space is like have little drips like that. Like, so it looks even more like gooey and ooey. It's so cute. I love it. I didn't even grow up like watching Nickelodeon or anything. Nickelodeon is infamous for their green slime. I was more of a Disney kid, but the Nickelodeon slime is iconic. So, and the times that I have seen it used certainly left an impression on me, I'm sure. So that's like layer 1. Maybe that's like the cheese layer. I don't know. Layer 2, I'm gonna use this like lighter yellow green. Um, Let me shake this up a bit because it's like kind of running weird. All right. I'm liking the way this is coming out so far. I'm particularly in love with like this shade of like neon yellow green. I just think it's like really obnoxious in a fun way. And especially when you put it up against like a neon pink, it looks really cool to me. Like I just love high contrast colors so much. High saturation, high contrast colors really do it for me. But right now we're just doing it in like a gradient from yellow to green to keep it simple. Like each layer is a different part of the gradient. You could also use this dripping effect, I guess, if you were to draw like graffiti art styles, like when you spray paint in the same place hard for an extended period of time, it starts to drip because you've already like cover the surface with spray paint. But that would only leave like a few drips. It wouldn't be like this whole big thing. I haven't drawn graffiti in years and years and years. I'm out of practice with that art style. But I do have a lot of respect for it. And I would one day like to learn how to spray paint so I can do even more murals on a bigger scale. But that's just wishing out loud. I'm having trouble like seeing what I'm doing. I don't know why. Like part of me wants to put my face like super close to this, but I don't want to cover it in the frame. I feel like I'm going over the lines, but honestly, it's not that big of a deal. You can just draw the lines again with the Sharpie after the paint has dried. I just don't want to do that extra step. Like, I just want to do it one and done, but whatever. And I don't know if this is like, this pen is a little dry for me. I can't tell. Like if it's a little dry, I might have to dip it in some water, but I don't have any water on hand, so I'll just have to deal with it. All right, that's layer number 2 done, and then we're going to do layer number 3 with the green, this green. It's going to be pretty cool, I think, anyway. And this is like the top layer. So boom, look at that. Wow. Awesome. Amazing. And I just want to remind you, it's totally fine if you're not doing exactly what I'm doing. If you're just like still sketching your doodles right now, or if you're doing completely different doodles from me, I highly, highly encourage that. The thing I love the most about this style of drawing is that it has so much to do with personal expression and personal creativity. And you just use objects like a four-leaf clover to sort of give you the parameters of how to express yourself, of where to express yourself on the paper. But I have other pieces that I've done like this where I use the whole paper. That's actually most of the pieces I've done like this. I just use the whole paper. I think it would be really fun to do like a self-portrait in this style. I can't believe I haven't done that yet. I'll probably do that this year whenever I get around to it. Next class is going to be a self-portrait, but it won't be in this style. But we will still be using these markers. And I am so excited, you guys. It's going to be amazing. Because everyone's going to have something different and unique because we're going to be doing self-portraits and nobody looks the same. So that's my slime section. It's fun. It's pretty green. I don't know. What else could we do? Let me think. Think. This is a squiggle, but it kind of looks like a roller coaster, no? So maybe I'll do like some roller coaster cars on it. Like that. um, and I guess like we'll have to do the braces. I recently went to Universal Studios in Florida, and I've been having a lot of dreams about like being on water slides and stuff. Because I went to the water park there. So that's something that's been on my mind a lot. It's been in my subconscious, sort of kicking around in there. Yeah, the roller coaster. I just drew a roller coaster in there. Why not? And let's see what else we could do. Let me think. Let me think. Something I like to do. I like to do these really radial patterns in an alternating fashion, like that. And I'll do them again right here, so you guys can see what I mean in a bigger sense. Hmm. Those look like scales, or maybe even mini rainbows. They can be whatever you want them to be. It's okay with me. And then we have this final area right there. Hmm. Hmm. And I think I want to do like this. Because why not? It's a little similar to the slime in terms of motion, and it's a little similar to the rocket, the roller coaster as well. But every slight difference means something else. It means more. And so we have 1, 2 leaves done. I'm gonna zoom out again to show you. Like in terms of line art anyway, this one is really simple. And it's totally fine if your entire leaf is just lines like this. I think that would look really cool. I want to try to do something like this. I found this pattern to be really, really satisfying. But I don't know if I can pull it off. Like, I would need because I have this like big curve going through here. And then another one. So I have two big curves. And that's what sort of makes it like really good. But I want to replicate it to show you guys. So maybe we'll just keep it at one curve right there. All right, so I'm following this line of the curve or this section. I'm following this line of the curve for this section. I'm going to follow this. This line is not a part of the curve, but that's okay. I'm going to follow this line for this section. I mean, I kind of didn't, but it's okay. um, I'm gonna follow this line right here for these lines. It's gonna look a little similar, I guess, to the bottom one, but I'm following this loop. I'm following this line. Yeah, it's like, this is the thing about replicating patterns that you make. It's a little tricky because I think why this works so well is because I have like this piece and this piece, this piece and this piece, to where it kind of like, when it gets small, it becomes this little oval here with still that like this section where the lines are straight versus like most of these sections are just straight lines. For this section, I just did not follow a line. And I'm fine with it. It's okay. I think I want to follow that line still. And then we'll do this line like that. So it's really jumbled. I drew some clouds. So I'm thinking of the sky with this section right here. And I think one pattern that would be really cool, that I actually really love to do, is I like to make a net or like a fishnet or something. But instead of it being straight lines, I follow two of the borders of like the area that I'm doing. So it's sort of warped in a way like that. Like, yeah, I always think that's really fun. Of course, I'm just gonna fill this in with some lines. I'm gonna mimic that. And on this piece for the stem, I just drew some straight lines going down, but maybe we can do them going across this time. Sort of like stripes. I think that's cool. And then I want to put something in these stripes. I want to do something with these stripes. I have a lot of stripes on this piece. So maybe I'll do like that. Some squiggles. The sun is going down. Is that super bright? No, that's good. I was using my natural light, but it's getting a little dark in here, so. Oh my goodness, I haven't been reading the chat. What? It's no big deal. And I guess I could leave it like this, but yeah, I'll leave it like that for now. Let's not get too crazy. We only have a few sections left to fill in, really like these three. So I guess you would call these like scallops. They look like frills or something. I don't know. I don't know. I could leave it like that. Oh, one that would be cool is when you have these, but they're alternating. So I'm going to do that again. But they are going to go up forever and they're going to alternate. And so it looks like scales, like fish scales. Which I think is pretty fun. And then I like to have like a little extra loop in them. Because I think it adds more visual interest. And I think for our last section, I'm gonna try to draw mini clovers. Like right there. So let's zoom in some more. They're not four-leaf clovers, but that's okay. Maybe I'll do one that is. Like maybe we'll do this one as a four-leaf clover. Like that. Mhm. Hmm. We have filled the entire page with pattern. And you can color this however you like. I stuck to mostly green. I used this, this, and this. And then like when I got to this leaf, I was like, I can use this too. But I did the rainbow. This is probably going to be the only thing that has rainbow in this entire piece. But you can go rainbow if you want. It's up to you, really. It's no big deal. Like, but for things like these clovers, I just drew, right? I'm gonna color them in green. And the paint pen makes that really, really easy. You're not gonna get this amount of like this quick, heavy coverage of color with something like a color pencil. Color pencil requires more pressure on the paper to get it that opaque. And it's just not something that is conducive to being a time saver, you know? I want this sky to be like green. We only have a few minutes left, so but I implore you guys, I encourage you guys to color in whatever ways you want. I think that's like the most enjoyable part. And it's also super relaxing and really satisfying to see the spaces filled in. Of course, though, if you prefer the way it looks in black and white, you can leave it like that. You don't have to color in every single piece. You can just leave a few sections colored in. If those are the only areas you're feeling inspired to color. You know, the world is yours. Right? Your paper is your palace, is your everything. You can do whatever you want. And that's why I love art so much. And oh my gosh, I have so many white gaps. I can't even see. Look at all these white gaps. It's kind of charming though, isn't it? Instead of being like this super perfect, like fill in, color fill in. Does anyone have any questions? Anyone want to see any other? I should show you guys my other pieces that I've done, I guess. mm, so this is like a super recent one I did. For inspiration, I don't know, just curious. Yeah, I did this one not in black and white, in black and blue. I did like fire over here, and I got some like dead fish and stuff. Because I was feeling upset, so I drew it out. And I drew like a train. This was my graduation cap for my high school graduation. I guess it's like supposed to be like this. And I sort of mirrored it. I have like some brains here with some goo in it. I have these like waves and stuff. I have these leaves down here, and I glued on actual like fake flowers because daisies are my favorite flowers.
So nice.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, thank you. I have two more, but they're like magnet. They're like, let me see if I can get them off like really quickly. These two are really cool. I love them so much. So what I did was I took my Bristol paper and acrylic paint and I taped it down, right? And I just painted whatever. I did like a sort of rainbow tie-dye kind of vibe. And then I went over it with one of these two Sharpies. I don't know. I don't remember which one. It had to be one of these. And I did all my patterns. I did like, I had the idea of doing this chain of eyes. And then everything else just sort of fell into place after that. And then this one was sort of a similar idea. I had this idea of like these blob things, and I just did it in purple. So this is more of a monochromatic one. And I really love like this pattern is probably my favorite. This one was really good to do too. I sort of outlined like some of the paint blotches and then outlined them again and again and again. Yeah, so I've been doing art like this for a really long time. Probably like 7 years now. These two are from 2020. This is from 2019. This one is from a few days ago. I was just like, whatever. I just did it. And of course, this one was from this year as well, because this was this class.